I just returned from being on the panel for Digital ASEAN. It's a very interesting panel, and one of my observations was that up until that point there had been very little discussion of consumer in ASEAN. And it is a bit of a miss, because the whole point of ASEAN, or one of the key points of ASEAN, is that it has the third largest consumer base in the world, 625 million people, many of whom, 50% of whom, are under the age of 30, so kind of very digitally native. And we had the chance in the session on Digital ASEAN to explore what consumers are really looking for, both in terms of experiences, but also in terms of being able to collaborate in the process of developing new ideas and thoughts. We had a very lively discussion. I was joined with 4 panelists, and we also had a breakout where we explored some of the very specific needs of the ASEAN consumer. You know, ASEAN is 10 countries with very, very diverse economic profiles, with very diverse populations. And in a digital world, the potential for the ASEAN consumer is that very, very specific problems that they need solved can be done so in very different ways. And so when you start to look at ASEAN and you look at it through that consumer lens, you find all sorts of new ideas to come to the fore, all sorts of new problems to solve. And I think that all of us in the room are convinced, or were convinced, that ASEAN, over the next few years, we'll start to see very many more grassroots ideas and solving problems that are present here but not necessarily present in other parts of the world. One other topic, and it's been very interesting just observing how much discussion there has been, one about technology overall, but particularly digital technology, is that in every session, other than in the digital technology session, we've spoken a lot about regulation, and I think it's really incumbent on business, and particularly a business like Accenture, to look at how we can help shape the regulation and shape the environment within which regulators work. You know, we're all in uncharted territory when it comes to digital and when it comes to the new developments in this new economy. And I think it's incumbent on organisations like us, and on us very specifically, to be able to share what we see in different organisations, what we see in different countries, and be able to help educate both the business community and the regulatory community, but also help shape some of that very needed regulation as it moves forward.